All right. Hope everyone is doing well. We are going to do something fun. We're going to do Blues Volume 2 not in all keys. We're going to do Blues Volume 2 every lick. And I thought I would keep you guys in the loop as to this process of how I am going to I'll do this live video and then I'll actually condense it down into a shorter version that I will also upload to YouTube. So the success from Blues Volume 1, every lick, has been very popular. So I hope you enjoy this. We're going to go through every single lick so you can see what kind of courses I create, and hopefully you'll get something from this. And if you want to get the course, it's a great resource. Honestly, I probably did this course in 2018 or so. It is as relevant as it has ever been, and I think you'll really enjoy it. So I have the PDF pulled up. You don't have to have the PDF, but if you want to get it, there's a link to the description. I only have 2 courses for a sale, and that is Blues Volume 1 and Blues Volume 2, and I'm calling it like an old course sale. It's 50% off, and you can get it, you could not get it, but I'm literally giving you every lick here. So if you want to get that resource, I think you'll be very happy with it. All right, here we go. Let's dig right in. We're going to do all of the licks. One more thing that's important to say, this is not a full-on teaching where I go through every lick and I show you exactly all the fingerings like I normally do if you actually have the resources or if you're in the Blues Academy. But this will be an overview so you will be able to learn the licks. All right, the very first one is actually 3 licks in one. Let's talk about it. So the first thing is the C6 lick. This is kind of continuation from Blues Volume 1 lick, and you have minor third to major third, a really important part of our blues our blues vocabulary is this minor third to major third, the 5th, the 6th note. So we have, that's part 1 of this longer lick. And then you jump up here, minor third to major third, up the octave, and I'm doing minor third, major third, 5th, 6th, and then I go G and B flat. So let's put those 2 parts together. Another thing on the left hand, I'm just doing quarter notes right now, kind of simplifying what's on the PDF. The PDF is actually an 8th note bass line, which is also equally important. We have this. All right, that's just the first 2 parts of this awesome lick. The very next thing is probably one of our more famous licks at iMusic Academy, is this idea of minor third to major third, but outlining the C in second inversion. So notice that my C chord, root position, first inversion, second inversion, and you have this minor third to major third, and kind of holding on to that top note for just a second. And I would actually isolate that as well. And occasionally you'll see me looking up because I do have the chat window open, and if somebody does come in, a lot of times I'll say hello and just want to check on you guys. But here we go. Especially if you could let me know if the sound's working and the video looks okay. Making sure we have the software working. But minor third to major third, and C triad in second inversion. So let's put all of those 3 things together very slowly. Now, one thing that I love about that one lick is, yes, that's a longer line. So it's a longer line, but it's 3 licks in one. So if I was going to actually turn on my track and improvise with that, let me show you what that would sound like. Slow blues in C, 2 and 3 and 4 and... All right, let's talk about this for a second. So one of the things you probably saw me do is at first I was teaching you guys this with this bass line right here. So I'm teaching that bass line, or teaching the lick, but when you play along with the trio, the bass player is playing the stuff down here. So we're playing these simple voicings, a C9 voicing, 3 flat 7 9 to an F13, and then to a G13. Chords that we've been doing for a while now. So let's put that together with these voicings. So the bass player's doing his thing, we're a part of the trio, 1 and 2 and then 3. And since I didn't start it down here, I could start it down there, but when it goes up the octave, 2, 1, 2, 3, fingering. Then I go G and B flat to F and A, and then the last part is this thing again we're working on, the minor third to major third on C. So we have the last thing I'll say about this particular lick, it's one of those minor third to major third, so it is okay when you go to F, you do the exact same thing, same shape, just starting on F, then your minor third to major third up to the 5th and flat 7, and then back to C. And on G, I just go here, because it's going to go to F, and back to C. And whenever you look at these courses, for instance, you have blues volume 1, 2, 3, 4, all of them. I always teach you the blues all the way through. So when you can go from C into F and G, it has the fingering written in. And just know that whenever you're doing that minor third to major third, you can often play the exact same thing, but on whatever chord you're working on, C, F, and G. All right, that covers. It's a long way to talk about the first one. We have 9 more to go. All right, so as I'm scrolling back up here in the course, one great thing about these courses is I have an awesome team that has helped me along the way. They continue to make my courses better and better by helping me provide resources for you guys. So Blues Volume 2, you have a clickable index, and if I clicked on this, it would take you right to this sheet music, and then if you click there, it takes you to the really detailed video. So each lesson is sort of segmented, it's isolated so that you can really focus in on one thing at a time. All right, now let's get to example 2. This is probably one of the most requested licks. It's this one. So you have this. Or the 8th note bass line would be this. But we're going to do it a lot slower. You have the sheet music and you have the fingering. I actually wrote this when I first did this chorus. I said 2 to 2 and then the 3, but I actually like 3, 3, and then, so you actually do 1, triplet, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1. So you have this. So I want you to notice how I like to practice these 2-measure phrases. You have this first thing, which is a whole thing that you have to get used to. Minor third to major third using the 3rd finger. You practice this slide. Repetition is your friend. So you do 1, triplet, and. You may not get it today, you may not get it next week, it may take you a month, it may take you a year, but if you isolate this and practice this one little section, you'll start to get more confident and you'll really get the feel of how this is supposed to go. So once I get to here, I'm going to cross over, and the way I think about this F and A on the C chord is that it's like I'm going from the C chord to the F blues, the 4 chord, which is F. So notice my crossover. I'm in the key of C. If I was in the key of G and I do this lick, minor third to major third, 2nd inversion triad, I think about what's the 4 chord in the key of G? G, A, B, C. So when I cross over, I'm thinking C and E, which is the 1st and the 3rd of the 4 chord, right? Let me go back to the key of C. Say it one more time. Minor third to major third, cross over with F and A, and E flat to G. This is the 3rd part. Listen. And now minor third to major third, so it's like C minor to C major. there's our 4 chord, minor third to major third, and then I do 6-5 root. That's the whole thing. I can do it super slow and super straight. Or my 8th note bass line. Notice that when I do the 8th note bass line, I'm deciding where do the fingers line up, or where do my left hand and right hand lock up together. And the first thing that I notice is my E is with my C and G, and then when I do the lick, then the G lines up with the C and G the second time. So I'm even going to break that down and just practice that one thing. The next part, oh, the C and A are together with the F and A. And then I'm here again. One thing you'll know about me and my teaching style is that I'm going to make sure that every lick that we do, you're going to know exactly how to lock up the hands. One of my favorite things to teach, locking up the hands. We teach slow and straight. Okay, now let's put this actually with the track here and have fun with the trio version of this. So here's my chords. We have C9 and 2 and 3, and let's just go over these again. 3 flat 7 9, 2 and 3, and 4 measures of C. Now we're at an F for 2 measures. Now F13, right? Flat 7, 3 and 13 of an F chord. Now 3 flat 7 9 of a C chord. Now we're coming up to the G chord, flat 7, 3, 13. You go down chromatically, and then now we're at the F13, and then C9. And then it ends with the G13. All right, let's actually work on this lick. So we have on F the same thing. Same thing on C. On G. And maybe a blues scale, turn around C, B flat, and chromatically down. Let's do that again. So we have. I can play it a lot faster. I could go. All right, let me stop this for a second. So notice that I was playing it fast when the lick is actually written. So the lick is actually written, so it's supposed to be. But I love the sound of really taking our time with it. All right, I just noticed something. I just noticed that we're not live, we're unlisted, like from our music academy. All right, I tell you what I'll do. Let's end this, and then we'll start it over.